It is day 151 of our 1000 Dawns, ladies and gentlemen. And slight change of plan. In fact, to be honest, let me get the camera set up properly so I could, I apologise for the lighting. It's like nearly, it's almost midnight, and I've only just finished work. So there we are. Okay, so yeah, I know it's not ideal. In fact, I'm gonna just hold this normally. We'll do it like that. Okay, so let me just talk you through exactly what has happened today from start to finish. I finished work at about 6:20 in the morning. I got home, and guess what? I had a bank appointment at 11 o'clock. So I had to make an interesting decision between going to sleep immediately once I got home or staying awake. And by the time I came home just before midday, I was going to have a kip until I would have to get ready for work again. I chose not to go to sleep. And I chose to head out back into town to have a meeting with the bank manager. And honestly, listen, I took my dad with me and stuff like that, just because he wanted to go into town anyway, just to do a little bit of window shopping. And listen, I love my dad and everything like that, but sometimes I just wanted just a bit of quiet so I could focus, because my head was throbbing like mad all the time. I don't know if it was just because I was so exhausted or I was so nervous about this whole appointment. I really couldn't tell. But yeah, listen, just a piece of advice for any would-be motorists, including people who are learning how to drive. Don't do what I did. Don't set out if you literally feel yourself struggling to stay awake. Because accounting for when my shift began, technically since the last time I went to sleep, it meant that when I set out this morning, I'd already been awake for about 21 hours. Guys, don't do that and then immediately start drive. It's going to end in disaster. And a disaster for who, you may be saying? Me? Or what happens if I have an accident and somebody else gets killed because of what happened? Yeah, honestly, it's take my advice, guys. Just be careful, and if you need a rest, if you need a break, then don't hesitate to ask. It's as simple as that. The powers that be would understand, and it's not going to offend anybody, providing you give an explanation. I think sometimes I think when people don't is when they really get hacked off. And listen, I've had that happen to me many times. I know the feeling. Anyway, so what happened was that whilst the events of going to the bank were rather quite personal, to be honest, and it's for reasons I don't really want to get into, it was a good outcome. But it's, again, something I don't really want to start getting myself involved in. Don't worry, there's nothing wrong. But anyway, once I got home at about just before 12 o'clock, I went to bed almost immediately. And I woke up at about 5:30, so about 5.5 hours of actual rest before I literally, the next thing I knew what was happening, I was already at work. And to be honest, insofar as shifts at work goes, this one was very, very smooth sailing. And yeah, even though it means that today has literally been blink and you'll miss it, and suddenly here we are. One of the things this does mean is that after 8 days at work, I get a whole 1 day off work tomorrow. And then back in at 10 o'clock on the Friday night. And to be honest, I'm not really that concerned or worried. Guess what? We're now, in many ways, we really are now halfway into the year. And starting from this point onwards, you're going to start once again noticing a pattern, certainly all the way throughout the month of July, that we are well and truly locked in. The battle is ours, and we will continue to fight. It even says in the description for this channel, the war rages on. And believe you me, the war is speeding up again.